Okay, so today's lesson. So here we are focusing on O-level this May business and accounting studies subject. Okay, so I just glanced through the structure of the paper, and based on that, we'll figure out what are the areas, the key areas that you need to look into. So I'm Lester Martino, Chartered Accountant and CIMA Accountant, and I have MBA in the University of LaTrobe in Melbourne, and I have BSc Accountants and Financial Management degree in University of Jawaharlal. So I have been lecturing almost 15 years. So in your subjects, almost 5 years experience I have. Okay, right. Now, so let's look at the structure of the paper. Most of students are already aware of it. To get some idea, so you have two papers in this paper, in the subject. So you have paper 1 that carries 40 marks and paper 2 carries 60 marks. So we'll look at the first paper, 40 MCQs. So with 40 marks and 1 marks for each MCQs. So first 16 question comes from business studies that you have learned in grade 10 and 11, and 24 questions coming from accounting section in both grade 10 and 11. So this is the basic structure that the area the questions come from. Okay, so we'll go in detail and figure out what are the most important or critical areas. So the paper 2 that carries 60 marks, and remember you have a case study. So most of the students, I would say, in my past experience, they struggle with this area. They couldn't answer the case study question. So what do you mean by case study? It's a scenario, it's a story. So in first question, they give a story and you need to read and you need to understand and apply whatever you learn from your 2-year period and then answer based on the scenario. Most of the students, they won't read properly. So they just glance through and they try to figure out the answer from the area they have already studied. So you should be very, very careful in deriving the answers for case study. Very, very important. So it's a compulsory thing. And I mind you, don't ever do this as a first question. And if you mess up, so it has some sort of a negative effect your overall score. So case study is a kind of a challenging thing. So never ever do this as the first question. If even though it is the paper 2 first question, my suggestion, my recommendation for y'all, never ever attempt this question as the first question. Remember, as a teachers, when we get the paper, we'll judge you from your first question. That's what happened most of the time. So if you start with this question and then you mess it up, so it has some kind of a negative image in the minds of the marker. So it has, it's a maybe disadvantage for you. So please be mindful, unless you're 100% sure, start with this question, otherwise never. Okay, right. So this is 20 marks question and it is compulsory. And then you have 3 business studies questions, 8 marks each. So you need to select 2 of them. You need to select 2 of them. And then you have 3 accounting questions, 12 marks each. You need to select 2 of them. So during your studies, you'd have make a selection. You have planned, yes, I'll do this sort of question. These 2 questions I'll select during the exam. Or these 2 accounting sets of question I will select. But mind you should make a decision during the exam. You can have a plan, but the plan can be changed during the exam period. We never know what sort of questions might come up. So I would say some students, they skip. Let's take an example, financial statement, the 7th question. They totally skip, or probably the bank reconciliation statement and the suspense account. They totally skip this area. My recommendation, don't skip anything. You need to make a selection during the exam. So you have thorough knowledge for each and every topics. and you need to make a decision during the exam. Okay, so otherwise the chances are you might end up with C or B. Okay, so if you want to get an A pass, you need to have thorough knowledge and make sure you're ready for each and every area. So that is my advice. Right. Now we'll look at the case study question. So case study question has 10 questions. Out of 10 questions, 4 questions come from business studies area and 6 questions come from accounting area. And mind you, if you go through your past paper questions or past papers, since this is 2022 exam, give more weight for 2020 paper. Don't look at 21 because the chances are really low that question might turn up, but have a focus, give a more weightage for 2020 O-level paper. Okay, so based on 2020 paper, I have elaborate here the first 2, 3 question. Question number 1 to 3 question came from chapter 1 to 3 in grade 10. And 4th question came from chapter 2 and 3 in business studies section. Question number 5 to 7 questions came from chapter 10, 4, 5, 6 chapters, grade 10, chapter 4, 5, 6 accounting section. And question 8 came from grade, it should be grade 11, chapter 7, costing area. Okay. And question number 10 came from grade 11, chapter 4 and 5. So ideally it should be 9 to, give me a minute, 9 to 10, and this should be grade 11. Mistake, sorry. Right, give me a minute. Right. So this is the structure, how the questions are consist from various topics or various topic that you have already learned during the period of grade 10 and 11. So this is the structure. So you need to understand what sort of topic you need to thorough in order to get good marks in case study question. Clear? So please have a thorough understanding of 2020 paper, because that is the base paper that you need to study or you need to develop your understanding. Right. Now I come to the very important part. The question come from which topics? So if you really done well in grade 10, you have more experience in grade 10. Why? Because you have done 3 term papers. And when you come to the grade 11, some questions come from grade 10. So you have a kind of a learning curve effect in writing the answers. So make sure you attempt question number 2, because that area repeatedly tested and you answers those questions so that you can get more marks. Clear? It helped to get a good score. So question number 2, if you analyze your past paper questions, it came from chapter number 1, background of the business, chapter number 2, business environment. You divide it into 2, internal and external, and the business organization. Clear? So this section is so important. So make sure, have a firm determination that you will do this question, because you have more learning curve effect. That means you have thorough understanding in this area. So don't skip. Okay, now it's a dilemma. Now it's selection between 2 topics. That is question number 3, very important topic. Grade 11, first chapter. 1 specific question only from this chapter. So give more weightage. So learn all your trade and supporting services. Chapter number 1, it's a big chapter, but you need to study. You should not skip this one. Why I say so? There are a lot of questions come from MCQs from this chapter. So as far as your exam is concerned, and if you are not studied anything, at least please focus on grade 10, first 3 chapters, and grade 11, first chapter. Very, very important. Clear? Now we come to last question from the business studies. That is question number 4. question come from grade 11 syllabus. That is management, marketing, and the last topic, investment. Okay, so it's not that important, but if you want to get a good score, please have a thorough knowledge on this. But if you are not studied still, my recommendation, if the time is the limiting factor for you, so you can skip this one, but there is it won't have that much of negativity compared to question number 3 or chapter number 1 in grade 11. Okay, so give more weightage, give more emphasis for question number 2 and 3. Remember, very, very important. Clear? Right. Now we come to the accounting questions, paper 2. So there are 3 questions. Okay, so first question from accounting section, that is question number 5. This come from grade 10, introduction to accounting, chapter number 5, accounting equation. Very, very important topic. You cannot skip that topic. Accounting equation, very, very important. Dual impact on transaction, petty cash book, and cash book. And chapter number 10, journals. So you'd have learned journals, sales journal, purchase journal, and general journal. So what do you mean by sales journal? If you sell goods on credit basis, you'll record in the sales journal. So what is the supporting document? Sales invoice. If you purchase goods on credit basis, you'll be recording the purchase journal. What is supporting document? Purchase invoice or supply invoice. And anything, any other things other than those you have learned in general, what you call the prime entry books, you'll be recorded in general journal. So what is the supporting document? Journal voucher. So what are the type of transactions you record in general journal? Number 1, stock drawings. Number 2, goods, non-current assets purchased on credit basis, or any accounting adjustments, or any correction of errors. So those 4, please do remember. Number 1, stock drawings. Number 2, any non-current assets purchased on credit basis. Number 3, accounting adjustments. What do you mean by accounting adjustments? You have accrued adjustment, you have income receivable adjustments, you have bad debts adjustments, and you have depreciation adjustments. So those 4 adjustments will be recorded in general journal. And the last one, correction of errors. That is chapter number 12 in grade 10. Okay, please have a thorough understanding of those areas. And then we come to question number 6. So question number 6, grade 10, you have bank reconciliation, that is adjusted bank account. So they might provide the bank statement, and they might provide you the bank account balance, and you need to prepare adjusted bank account, and based on the adjusted bank account balance, you need to prepare bank reconciliation statement. Clear? So that is one type of question that may test. And then we come to grade 10, chapter number 12. The most of the students are struggle in this chapter, the correction of errors and suspense accounts. The errors that affect the agreement of trial balance, errors that won't affect the agreement of trial balance. So those things you need to practice. The last one, grade 11, it's statement of production cost. So what do you mean by statement of production cost? The cost which is related to the production. Cost which is related to the production can be broadly divided into 2, direct cost and indirect cost. Direct cost, another name, prime cost. Indirect cost, another name, overheads. So you take all the production cost in terms of direct cost and the direct cost add together, that's you call production cost. That divide by number of units, you calculate the cost per unit or production cost per unit. And you add a markup. You have done in grade 9 maths, the profit margin, you add a margin and you come up with the selling price. So please brush up these areas so you will get a good score. And the last one, very, very important. Why I say so this topic is so important. If you take the question number 34 to 40 in MCQs, all 34 question to 40, the 7 questions come from this area. This area you cannot skip if you want to get an A. This area you cannot skip if you want to get an A pass for this subject. Okay, financial statements. Grade 11 syllabus, chapter number 4, financial statements. And chapter number 5, the adjustments. What do you mean by financial statements? There are 2 sets of financial statements you prepare. One is profit or loss statement. What is the purpose of profit or loss statement? To calculate the profit. How you calculate the profit? You take the revenue minus expenses. Revenue is sales. Expenses you broadly divide into two categories. I would say cost of sales and other type of expenses. So sales minus cost of sales, you calculate the gross profit. Sales minus cost of sales, you calculate the gross profit. From that gross profit, you add other income. And then you have four sets of expenses. That is administration, distribution, other, and finance. So you take the total of all four sections and you have gross profit plus other income. So gross profit plus other income figure minus all the four type of expenses. Then you come up with the net profit. Please brush up with these areas. And that net profit go to the equity section of statement of financial position. So statement of financial position simply represent your accounting equation. What is your accounting equation? Assets equal liability plus equity. So assets you broadly divide into two that you are learning in grade 10. The current assets and non-current assets. So non-current assets, assets that you use in the business over the period of time. You don't have any intention to sell. Clear? So the feature of these non-current assets, since the useful life is more than one accounting period, the wear and tear part you need to record in the form of a depreciation. Clear? So brush up your knowledge, how you calculate depreciation, how you record the depreciation, what is the double entry for depreciation. So depreciation is the cost minus scrap value divided by useful life. Cost minus scrap value, that answer we call depreciable amount. Cost minus scrap value, that answer you call depreciable amount. So that divide by useful life, you get the depreciation expense. So what is the double entry for depreciation expense? Debit depreciation expense and credit accumulated depreciation. How you record the depreciation financial statement? You record depreciation expense as an expense in income statement or profit or loss statement. If it is sales related, it's a distribution cost. If it is administration related, it's an administration cost. And then it goes to the statement of financial position, non-current assets. You have cost column, you have accumulated depreciation column, and you have carrying amount column. So you add the amount you get the previous year's accumulated depreciation, cost minus accumulated depreciation, you calculate the carrying amount. So please do brush up your knowledge in these areas. Very, very important. Even the last minute, if you don't get understanding, please focus on financial statement, chapter number 4 and 5. Any doubts before we moving to paper? So this is the snapshot, the areas the questions may come from for your paper. So you need to take a calculated risk. If you skip any topic, don't ever skip this question or this question. My advice. Clear? You can skip bank correct, you can skip correction of errors, but never skip 5 and 7. Very, very important. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can text me and I can answer. I'll give you 5 minutes to answer your concerns or doubts. Feel free to chat. And if you have a doubt, please ask. And after that, we can discuss the paper. Don't get stressed, okay? You have 9 subjects, I know, but don't get stressed. You have ample time. If you are not studied, still this time is enough. And don't think that I will do exam next year. Never. In Sri Lankan context, never. You need to finish this off. Make up your mind, have a plan, work according to the plan and proceed with it. That's all. Okay? If you're not start today. That's enough. That's enough. Believe me. That's enough. Be positive. Don't blame the school has not done, tuition teacher not done. No, forget about that. Focus today, develop strategies, get the help from others. It can be your friend, it can be your teacher, whoever, any person, get the help. Please be positive and work hard on it. This time or even 1 month, 2 weeks, still enough. Enough, it's enough, don't worry. Okay, so I hope everyone got the paper. Just give me a minute. Have you got the paper with you now? Okay, can you see the screen I'm sharing now? Everyone, can you see the screen? If you have a doubt, please put it in your chat box so that I can answer then and there. Please be positive, okay? Please be positive. You can do this. This is not a rocket science. Or this is not a Greek or Latin. You can do this. It's a basic thing. Just read and understand, write something. Okay. So first one I'm discussing is the case study. Okay, because this is the initial phase. So I want you to involve in it and then we can change the topics. Okay. So during my discussion, please use my approach that you can get more marks. Don't ever read, don't jump and read case study. First, you need to read. And honestly, this paper is a kind of a tricky paper. So it's why I gave this type of paper. It's not to penalize you, but to get a logic. So it covers a lot of areas in your syllabus so that you know in and out. Sometimes this might come, sometimes no. But it's based on my I don't know. I believe that might come based on the past papers. I analyze them and then based on that I develop this paper. Okay, right. So we'll look at the question and underline. Once you get a paper and if you are doing the case study question, you need to complete this question within 45 minutes. You should not exceed 1 hour for this question. Remember, if you exceed, please stop and move to another one. Because you have an opportunity cost, time. And remember, exam, you have 2 challenges. Number 1 is the content, the syllabus. Number 2 is time. Okay, so during this 3-hour period, you need to manage the neurons and everything, the amount you study, that's the content, and other challenge is the time. So if it is for 6-hour paper, everyone will do. So you need to manage the time so that get the maximum out of it. Just a minute. Yeah, good question. Yeah, I'll put it in the chat box. Give me a minute. Okay, just send me a message. I will do the needful. Okay. Okay, right. Now, first focus on, if you don't have the paper, I will send to you, send me a WhatsApp message. I will send it to you. Okay, right. Now, just focus on the question and use my approach during the exam. I know this is the last paper in your timetable, but most of the students give up. My recommendation, don't give up. You need to fight till the last minute in your exam. Okay, so read and use my approach so that you can practice over the period of time. Right, the first one, based on the nature of goods. So you need to underline those things. Based on the nature of goods, under what category this business belongs to. So when you read this question, or now information comes to your mind. So the nature of goods. So there are some commodity manufacturing business and service delivery business or service providing business. So it's a matter of selecting either commodity or service. Okay, that's all. State the type of business organization that Vocational Training Authority of Sri Lanka belongs to. Okay, so just go back to your grade 10 business organization and you have learned sole trader, partnership. Likewise, there are certain type of businesses, the type of businesses, so you can grab the answer based on that. State one advantage and one disadvantage of the business when compared with partnership business. So for you to get the answer, you don't need to read the case study. One advantage, all profit belongs to the owner. But when it comes to the partnership, the profit should be shared among partners. One disadvantage, to the limitation of capital, or I would say the limitation of skills. The skills and competencies limit only for one person. But when it comes to the partnership, the different people with different skills can join and they have some sort of a consensus view. So without making a decision, they talk and then they come up with a kind of a conclusive decision. So that may be advantage for partnership, but that is not available for in your sole trader business. Yeah. So likewise, you can derive the answers. States two stakeholders of the business and with each objective. Okay. Next one. List two opportunities arrive or available in external environment. So what do you mean by opportunities? Opportunities come from the external environment, the positive things in external environment. And decision taken to decrease the price of bike to expand the market share. It's a decision. The decision taken to decrease the price of bikes to expand the market share will come under what function of management? Management function, planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. There are four of them. So it's a matter of decision. You decide. Answer is planning. You don't need to read the case study. Which variable in marketing mix he used to open new showroom close to Bellangvilla? Obviously, they have given a place. Answer is place. You don't need to read the case study. Next one. State the accounting equation as at 1st Jan 2022. So accounting equation as at the opening date. So accounting equation means assets equal liability plus equity, that equation along with the values. Right. Next one. So what is the value of sales during January? Next one. So sales means sales can happen in two different forms. One is cash sales, other one is credit sales. So together we call total sales. Okay. Carrying value. Another name for carrying value. Okay. Carrying value means cost minus accumulated depreciation or net book value. Cost minus accumulated depreciation we call net book value or carrying value of non-current assets as at this date, as at the end of the month. Two prime entry books along with the source document. This is the common type of questions. If you analyze your past papers, same type of questions, only the scenario got different. That's all. Okay. Next one, cash balance as at the end of the month, profit and loss statements for the year ended, and calculate the net profit. Sorry. And then profit and loss statement for the month ended and calculate the net profit and the closing equity. Anyone? Can you tell me what do you mean by closing equity and how you calculate the closing equity? I'll give you time. How do you calculate the closing equity? Any guess? Closing equity කොහොමද calculate කරන්නේ? Just make a note. Closing equity equal opening equity plus profit minus drawings. Just write this down. Clear? Right. So these are the questions. Now your strategy is to search the the answers from the case study. That is your strategy. Search the answers from the case study. Is it clear, everyone? Okay, I'll give you time to read. Okay, can you take the screenshot of this one if you don't mind? Can you take a screenshot, everyone? I'll give you time to read because you need to practice. Okay, can you take the screenshot? Okay, right. Now I'll turn to the case. Okay, I'll give you time. Just read and try to pick the answers while you read. Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes time. Can you read? Please try. If you need the paper, just send me a text so that I can forward. WhatsApp message, then I can forward. Just read and familiarize yourself with the case study question. Just send me a WhatsApp message. It is not 7722226669, and then I can send it. Yeah, I'll put it in my number. Hold on. Give me a minute, sorry. Right. Shall I read with you the first one? Okay. Give me a minute. Okay, just read the scenario. Right. Okay. So shall we read very carefully? Remember, don't be hurry. You need to read with carefully. Okay. So read once and underline and do everything. On 1st Jan 2022, Ran Banda opened a second-hand bicycle shop by the name of Bike Zone in the city of Kurunegala. He had always wanted to run his own business. So this is a kind of a hint to figure out what is the business organization, because he wants to be his own boss. He worked for 12 years at Lumala City Cycle and store in Colombo and have extensive knowledge in cycle repairs. Further, he was able to complete a diploma course in digital marketing from Vocational Training Authority of Sri Lanka. He invested his savings rupees 1 million. Now, when it comes to the rupees, so please do underline. And Ranbanda has passion for bicycles and spent a lot of his spare time as a hobby restoring all bikes and selling them to local people. He imports used branded bikes from his friend in Japan as kits and assemble them and sell directly to consumers. The shop located at Kurunegala Back Street had a small garage at the rear where he carried out repairs. Ranbanda employed his younger brother as a shop assistant while he spent most of his time repairing, maintaining, and restoring the old bikes. On the same day the shop was opened, Ranbanda obtained a bank loan of rupees 600,000. So it's the amount, rupees, percentage interest. So please do underline. And opened a current account, please do underline, depositing 50,000 cash. In addition to the above, following transactions have been occurred during the month of January 2022. Sorry. January 2022. So purchased. So just underline everything. Just read. That's enough. You don't need to bother because it has a rupee value. So please do have a note of this. There is no closing stocks. What is the information? No closing stocks. When you calculate the cost of sales, how we calculate the cost of sales? You have the opening stocks plus purchases plus carriage inwards, loading expenses. That answer you call cost of goods available for sale or cost of good to be sold. So that answer minus the closing stocks, you get the cost of sales figure. Clear? So there is no closing stocks. So that means cost of goods available for sale or cost of good to be sold we call as cost of sales figure. Okay. And they provide some information or hint on depreciation. Depreciate non-current assets 10% per annum on cost. Okay. But remember, you need to calculate depreciation only for 1 month. So have a look. See, this is 31st January. Okay, so don't ever calculate depreciation for the year. So this is the one area most of the students get wrong. Okay, so you be very, very careful about the dates. So if the depreciation is given, so you need to calculate only for 1 month, if that's the case. If they ask for a year, then it is for the year. Okay, next. Bikes sells two type of bikes, standard and mountain. The price of standard bike is 10,000 while Mountain is 15,000. During the month of January, 20 standard bikes were sold and on credit basis. So on credit basis, that means what? The data arise. And 30 mountain bikes sold on cash basis. Okay. So 20 standard bikes on credit basis, 30 mountain bikes on cash basis. So if you want to calculate the total sales, you calculate the credit sales plus cash sales together, right? Due to increase in fuel price recently, as the way of improving fitness, health consciousness of rich people, and development of walking and riding tracks in city areas, the demand for bike increases dramatically. So Ranbanda decided to increase its market share by reducing list price for both types. So he decided to decrease the price for both bikes in order to attract more customers and also open a small showroom close to Bellanville walking track. Okay, you don't need to read it again and again and again because it is crystal clear. First, you read the question, and it's a matter of getting the answers, picking the answers from the case study. That's all. So most of the students, they do read once, twice, thrice, but they couldn't figure out the answers. And remember, mind you, the answers should be based on the case, the story that they are given. Please be mindful about this. So what is the answer? Based on the nature of goods. What is the answer? Any guess? What is your answer? Any guess for the first question? Come up with your answer. Is it a commodity manufacturing or service delivery? What's the answer? Any answer from y'all? Is it a commodity manufacturing or service delivery? There are two ways of answering this. Service providing, very good. You're buying and selling, buying the old bikes and restore them and sell it. It's a kind of a service. Okay, so the answer is service providing business. Service providing business. So I'm sending a couple of papers for students. Give me a minute. Okay, next question. Give me a minute. Right, so the answer is service providing business, the first one. Question number 2. State the type of business organization Vocational Training Authority of Sri Lanka belongs to. So it's authority. Ports Authority. Answer is state corporation. So write it down. Answer, state corporation. Answer is state corporation. State one advantage and one disadvantage. Advantage compared with the partnership business. Advantage compared to with the partnership business. So you can take 100% profits belongs to sole trader. disadvantage, limitation of capital and skills. You can write anything, but make sure the answer you wrote is not common thing for partnership. So you cannot write there is no going concern, continued succession, because it's common for partnership as well. You cannot say unlimited liability because it's common for partnership. So you should be very, very careful in dealing in writing your answers. Clear? Next question. Question number 3. State 2 stakeholders. Any guess? Owner. If they ask the example, you can say Ranbanda, an employee. His brother. So what is your objective, Ranbanda? Any guess? Security of the investment. Security of the investment. His brother, job security. Or we can say still a substantial amount of salary, whatever. As long as your answer is correct, they don't ask, they don't want the exact definition in your textbook. As long as it's correct, it's logically correct, they will give marks, remember. And when you write the exams, remember, you need to show that you know. Don't ever show your marker that you don't know. Don't show that you are crap. So make sure you pretend, even though you are not studied, show something, write something. Because they are human beings. So they're not robots. So they have heart. So they will figure out this person should pass or fail. This person should get A or B or C or fail. Likewise, they decide. So you need to do some, you need to put an effort during the exam time. Make some effort, at least to increase mark by 1. So that mark may be the mark or be decisive factor to get A or B or fail or pass. Otherwise, you need to suffer throughout your life. Clear? So work hard on it. 2 opportunities. 2 opportunities. Any opportunities available from outside market? Increase in fuel price. So people tend to move or shift from the fuel-based vehicles to hybrid version vehicles. So the most of the time, suddenly the price of the during the problematic situation. I know everyone has that experience. We didn't have much fuel. The prices for the fuel increases. There are a lot of queues in it, close to petrol shed. So that triggers the opportunity for another business. Okay, so something happened in the Sri Lankan economy. So it's a threat for their existing business, but it's an opportunity for another type of business. The Corona period, the demand for face masks substantially increases, sanitizers substantially increases. So same factor, one segment of business, it's an opportunity. One segment of business, it's a threat. So have a broad view that you can answer any sort of a question. Okay. Increase in fuel price and health consciousness of rich people and development of walking and riding tracks. You can write it down. Development of walking and riding tracks. Or health consciousness. Increase in awareness of health consciousness. Any of them. You can write the answer. Okay. Next one. The decision taken to decrease the price of bike to expand the market share comes under which function of management? Decision, you decide, that means planning. Answer is planning. Just write planning, that's enough. You earn the marks. Which variable in marketing mix is used to open a new showroom? Answer is place. Number 6, now we come to the accounting section. Accounting section, so just write it down. Assets equal liability plus equity. Okay, so slowly develop. Don't get excited, don't get upset. So you learn something new. So use your knowledge and try to earn mark one by one. That is your strategy. If you don't study anything, go for exams and make up your mind, I will pass. That is the perception that you should have for each and every subject on the day of exam. I will hammer this paper. බොරු හරි ලියන්න යන්න ඕන. අන්න එකයි මම. So you should have that attitude. Okay. Right. So we'll go to the scenario here. So the information with rupee values. Information with rupee values come to accounting. Remember, that's the structure. So what is the rupee value? He invested savings, 1 million. So write it down, 100,000, 1 million, sorry. Equity 1 million. Okay. There's the money he invested. So when you invest money, what happened? The cash will increase, the equity or capital will increase. Right down. And next one. On the same day, he opened, shop was opened. Ranbanda had to obtain a loan of 600,000. Loan එක කරන් තිනවා 600,000. Assets වැඩි වෙනවා, cash වැඩි වෙනවා 600,000. Liability වැඩි වෙනවා 600,000. Don't write the liability, bank loan liability, because it's only 2 mark. Just put it, that's enough. And open current account by depositing 50,000 cash. So it's within the umbrella of assets. Cash වලින් deposit කරනවා bank account එකට. Cash අඩු වෙනවා bank account එකේ තියෙන සල්ලි ටික වැඩි වෙනවා. You can put plus 50,000 in assets and minus 50,000 in assets. Okay, is it clear? If you want, you can put cash and you can put capital, you can put cash, you can put bank loan, you can put cash. Sorry, this is minus 50,000. So minus 50,000. Minus 50,000. So what is the overall position? So this is your overall answer. Is it clear, everyone? එක තේරෙනවද? දැන් හුඟක් වෙලාවට අහන්නේ as at the beginning. So as at the beginning now, only invest some amount of money, or probably he would have taken a loan. That's all. Very simple. Now B. මෙච්චර අමාරු වෙන්නේ. හරි? This is kind of a පොඩ්ඩක් අමාරුයි complexity wise, but why I give this so that you develop your thinking. And if you go for the worst, you can tackle any type of question during the exam. Okay. And if I give a very easy සීනි බෝල ගණන් වගේක් දුන්නොත් එහෙම, but when it comes to a difficult one, you cannot cope up with. Okay, so this is the worst that can come. So be prepared for it, and you might get an easy one. Don't worry. Right. And they say to calculate sales. So I'll give you time. Can you figure out how much is the cash sales? How much is the credit sales? Please try. And total sales. Either get karame or total sales. Please try. The information for that is given here. Please try. So what if he said that he determined the loan worth, then it won't be calculated accounting efficiency. Determine kara කියන එක එන්නේ නැහැ. Yes, a good question. Someone asked if the business owner has decided to take a loan. Unless the bank has approved the loan and granted the loan, you cannot take that into your accounting equation. Clear? Very clear on that matter. Any doubts you can ask in the meantime, okay? So can you calculate this? So how you calculate the value? Number of units into selling price. So cash sales. So cash sales, that is mountain bikes, 30 mountain bikes. 30 into, I'll give you working for this one. And what is the price of mountain bike? 15,000. 30 mountain bike. Price of the mountain bike is 15,000. You can write it down, mountain bikes. And then the standard bike. Credit sales. Credit sales, standard 10,000 into how many bikes? 20. 20 times 10,000. Is it clear? So total sales value is 650,000. Is it clear, everyone? So this is the answer. Someone asking question. Okay, cool. බය වෙන්න එපා ළම exam එකට. Don't be scared for any exam. Even though you don't study, go to the exam hall and do. And you need to develop the positive framework of mind during the exam. You should be very careful. ඒක තමයි වැදගත්ම වෙන්නේ. ඒ 3 hours, ඒ 2 hours තමයි වැදගත්ම ජීවිතේ. ඒකෙන්ද මොන ප්‍රශ්න තිබ්බත් ඒ 3 hours, ඒ 3 hour එක fully utilize කරලා maximum ගහන්න game එක. එච්චරයි. Nothing much. Don't get excited day before exam. හොඳට නිදා ගන්න. Don't get too much excited. Don't get overloaded with the information. I know it's stressful, but still, you cannot do miracle. So, but still, within this 3 hour exam duration, make up your mind, I will hammer this paper. That's all. I will play the game. That's all. A level එකට mindset එක හදාගෙන යන්න. ඒක තමයි වැදගත්. Right. Write the carrying value of the non-current assets. Okay. What do you mean by carrying value? So we'll write it down the answer. Carrying value, formula based. In exam, if you can't do any calculation, at least write the formula. You will earn at least half a mark. Okay. So because you need to show your marker that you know. ඇත්තටම පාඩම් කරන්න නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්, but you need to show, you need to pretend. Clear? Okay. Cost minus accumulated depreciation. Cost minus accumulated depreciation. Okay, tell me what is the cost of the non-current assets? Tell me. What's the answer? Cost එක කීයද? I need answer from you all guys. I need answer. Any guess? What is the cost of machine or non-current assets? Yes, very good. 600,000. It's represent here. So what is the depreciation rate? 10%. Sorry, depreciation rate is, hold on a minute. Continuation of sales carrying over non-current assets. Yeah, 10%, yes. Depreciation rate is 10%. The loan rate also 10%, yeah. So what you can do is 600,000 minus 600,000 open bracket times 10% times masa only 1 month, okay? 1/12. 600,000 10% කියලා කියන්නේ අග බිඳුව කපන්න. ඒතර 60,000යි. 60,000 12න් බෙදුවම 5,000යි. So shall we do the same? So 600,000 minus 5,000. So the answer is 595. Is it clear? එක තේරෙනවද බලන්න? So we calculate depreciation only for 1 month. That's all. Don't calculate depreciation for the whole year because they are asking only for the given month. If you have a doubt, please put it in the chat box so that I can answer then and there. Okay, next one. State 2 prime entry books and source documents used by the business. So you need to look at the type of business and the transaction they carried out for the given month. So it says purchased machinery and the rest of the transaction. So it's cash one and on credit one. So you can write it down. Sales journal and cash book. So the supporting document, I would say sales journal, sales invoice, and cash book, either receipt or payment voucher. Receipt or payment voucher. Number 8. Is it clear? If you have a doubt, please ask. Right. The next question they are asking, calculate the cash balance as at 31st January. So cash coming in and cash going out. Remember the cash book, you record all cash you received and all cash you paid. Cash enema tika debit karna, cash enema tika credit karna. That's how you record the transaction in cash book. So the first transaction is capital 1 million. Shall we do that one? First Jan. Hold on a minute. Cash coming in 1 million. And the second one, you received a loan, 600,000. You received a loan, 600,000. Hold on, someone asking question. Right. And next one, 1st Jan, you can write it, you deposit money in the bank account. How much? 50,000. Right. Shall we move to the next one? Transaction pertaining to cash. A purchased machinery assembled vehicle. So write it down, machinery, credit. The dates are not given, just leave it. Put it here, machine. 600,000. Next one, rent 150. Refurbishment 30. So more transaction, just give me a minute. Advertisement 25,000. Pay karne credit no, salary name debit no. Okay, that's how you record the transaction in cash book. Purchases 500,000. Salary 40,000. Salary 40,000. Electricity 5,000. Electricity 5,000. Other expenses 15,000. 15,000. What do you clear the bala? So if you receive money, you debit your cash book and credit corresponding accounts. So capital like a credit, loan like a credit, cash book debit. And if you pay cash book credit, the corresponding item debit. So when you deposit money in a bank account, bank debit, cash credit. If you purchase machine, machine debit, bank credit, cash credit. If you pay rent, rent expense debit, cash credit. Likewise. Okay. So shall we balance it? So which side is more? 1.6 million. And we'll take the total for here. So the difference, we'll take it here. This side is more. Credit side is less. So balancing figure can make. So this is 31st Jan. Someone asking question. Sorry, my mistake. Very good question. Yes, good. We haven't done the cash sales. Yes. Good. So cash sales. So cash sales, we already derive in previous answer 450. So cash sales, cash account debit or cash book debit, sales account credit. First Feb. Brought forward. 635. Is it clear, everyone? And remember, don't waste much time for cash book preparation because only 2 marks, huh? 2 marks විතරයි හම්බෙන්නේ in exam. So don't waste much time. පුළුවන් විදිහට fill කරලා balance කරන එක කරන්න බැරි නම් ඒක stop කරලා move to the next question. Don't කියන්නේ එතනම හිර වෙවි ඉන්න එපා. Don't waste your time by doing the same thing again and again because it won't add value any marks. Marks එක වැඩි වෙනවා නම් තමයි spend කරන්න time. So that's why you need to manage your time very carefully. Okay. Any questions? No, depreciation එක අපි cash book එකට දාන්නේ නැහැ. Good that you ask question. Depreciation is an accounting adjustment. ඒක cash book එකට යන්නේ. ඒක එන්නේ profit and loss එකට. It's an expense, but it's not in cash terms. So you acquire a non-current assets, you have a wear and tear part. So over the period of useful life, the value will diminish. So ඒකෙන් අපි cost එකෙන් allocate කරන එක තමයි අපි expense එකක් විදිහට recognize කරන්නේ. So depreciation is not due to, okay, right. Next one, we come to the profit and loss statement. So bikes on business. Let's write it down. Bikes on business. Just a minute. So just the cash stock drawings. Yes, stock drawings cash book එකට යන්නේ. Cash drawings cash book එකට යනවා. Stocks drawings යන්නේ. Purchases වලින් අඩු වෙනවා stock drawings. Cash drawings විතරයි cash book එකට යන්නේ. So anything related to cash එනවා නම්, if the cash inflow happen, cash book debit. If cash outflow happen, cash book credit. That's very simple. You need to think what will be the effect on cash. If the cash balance increases, you debit the cash book. If the cash balance decreases, you credit the cash book. So all cash receipts you record in the debit side. All cash payments you record in the credit side. Okay, shall we prepare the income statement or profit or loss statement? Bike's own business. profit or loss statement for the month ended 31st March, sorry, 31st Jan 2022. So income statement you saw with sales and minus cost of sales. And then you have gross profit. You have gross profit, and then you have expenses. You don't need to classify expenses in this case study paper, okay? Case study question, api classify karanna onne naha. There's only 2 marks. Sales figure already you derived in previous. You don't need to do it again. 650. Cost of sales, any guess what is the cost of sales figure? Cost of sales figure key. I'm asking question from you. Wage cost of sales figure key. And they further mention there is no closing stocks. And there is no opening stock. They just started. They just started now opening stocks now. Eතකොට purchases තමයි cost of sales වෙන්නේ. Sorry, not purchase machinery, purchase of this one, this part, purchase of second hand. The machinery is not, it's a non-current assets. Don't confuse, okay? Purchase of machinery to assemble bikes. So it's not a purchase. It's purchase of non-current assets. So there are a lot of twisting here. So you purchased second-hand bikes. That is your purchases. So answer is 500,000. No, the purchases කියලා එන්නේ the bikes you purchase, not the machinery you purchase to assemble the bikes. Bikes ගන්න එක purchase එකක්. Machinery එක ගන්න එක purchase එකක් නෙමෙයි. Why? That machinery you don't have any intention to sell. So it's a non-current asset. So if you buy any assets that is for the use of the business for longer period, more than one accounting year, that's a non-current asset. That is going to be depreciated. Can you remember we depreciate that asset? Am I right? Rapi ganni bikes. You're buying bikes and selling bikes. So your sales is 650,000 and the cost of sales is 500,000. And if you take, on the other hand, you can do a cross checking. Sales තියෙන්නේ 650 and you add both together, it become 1.1 million. The business එක loss වෙනවා. එතකොට මොන හරි වැරද්දක් වෙලා තියෙනවා. So this is not a purchase, remember. So be careful. There are a lot of traps. Okay, so you should have a firm understanding or a broader view එකක් තියාගන්න. Right? Okay, good. So purchase is 500,000. So the gross profit is 150. And you record all these expenses. So you'll just copy everything in here. All the expenses, okay? And mind you, you need to add the depreciation as well. Just copy this down, sorry. And then write it down depreciation. If you have a doubt, you can ask questions. Interest for the month. Loan interest for the month. Very good question. Okay. Good question. Someone asking question. We haven't included the loan interest for the month in cash book. Have they mentioned whether they have paid or not? I'm asking question from you. The මෙතනදී කොහෙවත් කියලා තියනවද ඒ bank loan interest එක ගෙවුවද නැද්ද කියලා? This is implied. That's what your examinees keep his mouth shut. It's not specifically mentioned whether you pay or not. So can you assume it has been paid or not? What is your answer? Good question. මෙතන කියලා තියෙනවා following transaction occurred. That means they paid. So this has not occurred means you need to accrue this. You need to accrue this. So you need to record this one as an expense in profit or loss. You cannot record this in the cash book. Why? Because you didn't pay. If you didn't pay, it won't go to your cash book credit side. තේරුණාද? Taking bank 50,000 and the measure 600. Yes, we took this. Ah, you mean for the income statement? Okay, okay. Now I'm student having some differences. Okay, right. Income statement එකට එන්නේ මොනවාද? Or profit or loss statement එකට එන්නේ මොනවාද? What type of transactions? I'm just giving a brief understanding of profit or loss statement. You need to record all your revenues and expense items. That's all. Cash book එකට එන්නේ cash coming in and cash going out, cash receipts and cash payment. That's all. Income statement or profit or loss statement එකට එන්නේ revenue items and expense items. So someone asking a question, why the machine we purchased won't come to the income statement or profit or loss statement? This is an asset. This is a non-current asset. Non-current asset goes to statement of financial position. Okay. And someone asked another question. This 50,000. This 50,000 is neither expense nor revenue. ලාච්චුවේ තිබ්බ සල්ලි ටික ගිහිල්ලා bank account එකේ දානවා. Is it an expense? No. Is it a revenue? No. It's just an asset. It's replacing cash into bank. That's all. So have a thorough knowledge, okay? The profit or loss statement එකට යන්නේ income items and expense items. So මේ 600,000 එන්නෙත් නැහැ. මේ 50,000 එන්නෙත් නැහැ. මේ 600,000 loan එක එන්නෙත් නැහැ. එන්නේ මොකද්ද? මෙන්න මේකට එන accrued interest එක එනවා. So probably this is 3 hours long. Yeah. So by 11 it will finish. Yeah. Right. So shall we calculate the interest on bank loan for the 1 month? Right. If you have a doubt, you can ask questions. I can happy to help. So interest on bank loan. So 600,000 bank loan interest again is 600,000 times 10% times 1/12. So answer is 5,000. So you result in a loss for the month. 75,000. You have a loss for the month, 125,000. The total expense is 275, and gross profit is 150,000. So you end up with a loss of 125,000. Is it clear, everyone? Okay, right. Last one, closing equity. So write it down. Closing equity equal opening equity plus profit. Profit at the both profit. The method loss in the minus minus loss. And if you have a drawings, into minus drawings. So opening equity key the transaction question number 5, 6, 1 million. So write it down. 1 million minus 125,000. 875,000. Daheng 125 ගියාම 875,000. කොටික තේරෙනවද? If you have a doubt, please ask. And remember, for case study question, don't exceed 1 hour or 50 minutes, maximum 50 minutes, I would say. එතනින් එහාට යන්න එපා, because otherwise you don't have much time to do the rest of the questions. Is it clear, everyone? Understood? Happy? Okay, good. Right, now, shall we move on to MCQ questions? Tactic took ones? Okay. Everyone, please move on to paper 1. MCQs. You have 40 MCQs. And you need to do it at least within 55 minutes. Don't exceed more than 1 hour. Of 50, if you can finish it off within 50 minutes, that's really good. So some students doing within 40 minutes, they're really good. But make sure you do, and make sure if you assume you don't know anything, please make a wild guess. Don't leave blank. Huh? You have answers. It's a matter of selecting 1, 2, 3, 4. Ini, mini, minimum, hari, mona, hari karla, you need to select. Don't leave blank. Kana hariyana velawal තියෙනවා හරි. So make sure you write or you select one option. Okay, because that 1 mark, maybe the mark will decide your pass or fail. Otherwise you have to regret your whole life. Right. First one. So here the most of the time first 3 questions come with the scenario, a small story. And based on the small story, you need to answer. And it's very easy. It's not that hard. Okay. So when you read, so you need to read with very carefully. Always read the question, not the scenario. Okay. Right. Select the answer which best describe need. It's about need. So you'll read. Okay. Nilu being the degree holder of fashion. The fashion කියපු ගාම ඔලුවට එන්න ඕනේ. Fashion එක අදාළ වෙන්නේ මොකකටද? Is it a clothing, food, education, health? The answer is supposed to be clothing, but we need to read the rest. Designing and with the extensive experience in digital marketing, started a small garment business venture by the name of Nilu Fashion, sourcing fabric from China and is selling ready-made garments to local markets in Colombo, Kandy, and Gold. So it's about clothing. So it won't take much time, remember. I'm predicting you will get this type of question either paper 1 or paper 2. Highly probable area can be tested. I might wrong, But still, I have a strong feeling that you will get a question in question number 2. Because what happened the last couple of months, we have a problem in dollar. We had a dollar crisis. Because of that, the import, we couldn't import much of the goods. There are a lot of import restrictions happen for cars, crude oils, lot of things. So that can be tested. Exchange rate can be tested in either form. So exchange rate is an economic factor. So please have a thorough knowledge on those areas, those parameters, indicators. Rupee depreciation against other foreign denominated countries, currencies, or Nilu fashion. So Nilu fashion import fabric from China. So rupee is depreciating, mean we have high cost for imports. Rupee depreciate වෙනවා කියලා කියන්නේ we have to pay high amount of rupees for imports. So it's not favorable thing. But if we are an exporter, it's a favorable or it's a kind of an opportunity. If you are an exporter, rupees depreciation means it's a favorable outcome. A rise in the market, outside market. So you are an importer. So if you are an importer, you have to pay high price. So it's a threat. So I hope you know strength, weaknesses. Strength and weaknesses come within the business environment. Plus point within the business environment is called strength. He has extensive knowledge. That is a strength. And let's say the laborers are so that fishy, or they are very reluctant to take decisions, or they are very attitude-wise, they have some problems. So then it's kind of a weaknesses. That's within the business environment, within the business. Outside the business, any favorable outcome happen, that is an opportunity. It's something happen which triggers the organization into kind of a problematic situation or negative things. It's a threat. So here this is considered as a threat. Which of the following statement is true with regard to Nilu fashions? Liability of the business is limited. Wrong. The business has continued existence. Wrong. The business has legal personality. Wrong. The answer is the last one. You need to register the business. Why? Because the name of the business is not from the full name of the owner. This is a good question. Fourth one. Ranjan purchased a land, it should be a land in Dankotu suitable for his pottery business. He collects clay and recruited employees around his factory area and built furnace in order to run his business operations. Select the answer which shows the factors of production denoting the above underlying word respectively. First one is pottery business. Second one, clay. Third one, employees. Fourth one, furnace. Furnace means the machine which burns the pottery items. What is your answer? Any guess? What is your answer? Entrepreneurship, land, labor, and capital. Second. When the contents of column X is matched against column Y, the following combination can be obtained for 1, 2, 3, and 4 respectively. We'll go one by one. Protect local manufacturers. The policy to curtail importation of tile and bathware. So we had last couple of times that can be tested. This is important one. We restrict all the imports. You know, the Dhammika Perera, his Royal Ceramic and Lanka Tiles, their business is boomed because they restrict all imports. If you talk to any Navala tile manufacturers, tile importers, the business is drastically reduce their operation because they cannot import any tile items from China or India, from China. So they stuck their businesses. Okay. So LCs won't open. So it's to protect the local manufacturers. Protect consumers, Consumer Affair Authority. Protect environment, Central Environment Authorities. If you figure out the name, you can easily figure out. You don't need the basic understanding, even commerce. Mithanath environment. You can derive the answers. Provide infrastructure facilities, highway. So the answer is start with B, ends with A. Clear? Question number 6. Following are acts affecting business organization, or probably ordinance. So they have given 4 of them. The acts or ordinance affecting the opening and continuation of partnership business. What is your answer? I need answer from you. Partnership Ordinance 1890, yes. So if you don't have any written agreement, you need to refer Partnership Ordinance. Companies Act number 7 of 2007, yes. The maximum number of partners in a partnership prescribed in Companies Act number 7, 2007. Prevention of Fraud Ordinance. If your original capital is more than ₹1,000, if your initial capital of the partnership is consist of any amount more than ₹1,000, you need to have a written agreement that's prescribed in Prevention of Fraud Ordinance 1840. Cooperative Acts, Cooperative Societies Act number 5, 1972. It's not related to partnership, it is cooperative societies. So except for D, answer is second one. Most of the students tend to answer this as 3. No, that's wrong. Companies Act number 7 of 2007 prescribe the maximum number of partners in a partnership. I need answer for question number 7. Please try. Question number 3 and 4. Okay. Question number 3 and 4. Hold on a minute. Yeah. Question number 3 and 4. Sorry. What is the answer for question number 7? Increase in interest rates. Your central bank governor, Nandalal Veerasinghe, has made a decision to increase the interest rate. So when you increase the interest rate, so what will happen? People tend to save because they're getting a high interest income in the form of savings. So you'd have learned savings account, fixed deposit account, likewise. So if the central bank increase the interest rate, people tend to save more. So savings will increase. When the savings will increase, the investments will increase. So the national output will also that decrease the inflation. So answer is second one. This should be number 2. Huh? Number 2, you know. Answer is this. To reduce the inflation, they try to increase the interest rate. Okay, right. Number 8. Number 8. Which of the following is correct about cross-check? So cross checks can encash, that is wrong. The payment of cross check is only credit to the bank account of the payee. Set next that is right. We'll look at the others. Cross check is done by drawing a line across top left corner of the check. Wrong. All of the above. Wrong. So the answer is second one. Question number 10. The following board has been fixed in front of school in the road, was sponsored by Ministry of Health of Sri Lanka. This belongs to symbol and sign communication. Which of the following marketing mix activity is most closely associated with newsletters, catalogs, and invitation to organization sponsored events promotion? It is management process to ensure actual confirms plans. You compare the actual situation, actual outcome with the plan outcome. That's called controlling. The following facts related to insurance. Husband can insure his lawful wife. Compensation is paid for insured property only to cover the damage. Insurer and insured should reveal all information related to insurance agreement. So insurable interest, indemnity, and utmost good faith. So by doing your MCQs, you can revise what you already learned. Remember. Number 14. The following information relates to the function of management. Leading is a process of distributing required resources, job roles, and tasks to implement plan. Wrong. That is organizing. Planning is a process of determining the objectives of a business and determine the activities to achieve these objectives. Yes, that's correct. Organizing is a process of directing human resources to implement plans. That is leading. Controlling is a process of finding out whether the business activity is measured to correct them. That's correct. So the answer is B and D are true, A and C are false. Leela Sena is a bank manager who is about to retire. He intends to invest the employee provident fund he will receive after retirement. His expectations are as follows. Receive interest income under fixed interest rate. Ability to convert cash at any time. Obtain full security. So it's a full security. What is the answer? Answer is purchase of treasury bills. The rest of them are not correct. So if you open a fixed deposit, you cannot get cash as and when you want. If you invest money in a stock market, the market can be crashed. So you cannot get a fixed amount of money. The deposit money in the savings account, you are not getting 100% security for savings. Right, we'll move on to the next one. The monitoring and regulatory, this can be tested. Monitoring and regulatory body for transaction of Colombo Stock Exchange. The monitoring body or the watchdog is Securities and Exchange Commission of Sri Lanka. Securities and Exchange Commission of Sri Lanka. Main purpose of financial accounting, it's provision of information for decision making of stakeholders. Main purpose of financial accounting. Okay. Question number 18 and 19 based on the information given below. So they have given opening accounting equation. They have assets 100,000, equity 40,000, and liabilities 60,000. and they have given after each transaction the accounting equation. This is a bit tricky one, okay? The transaction indicated in number 1 would be, okay, we'll have a look. So what will happen here? Your assets become 60, equity as it is, liability become 20. So that means it both decrease by 40. Am I right? Both decrease by 40. Both decrease by 40. Give me a minute. Right. Okay, cool. So assets decrease by 40 and liability decrease by 40. So both assets and liabilities decrease by 40. So what could be the transaction? The answer is payment 40,000 to creditors. Is it clear, everyone? Right. Next one. The transaction indicated number 3 would be. So let's look at the transaction number 3 and figure out what type of transaction happened. So number 3, 2 to 3. What is the difference here? 2 to 3. Assets decrease by 10. Equity decrease by 4. And liability decrease by 6. Take a clear the bala. And minus 10. Okay. So what could be the transaction? Assets decrease by 10. Equity decrease by 4. That's an expense. Equity decrease by 4 means either it may be drawings or it may be an expense. So liability means it's a settlement of a liability. So just look at the options you have. Payment of 10,000 to creditors, wrong, because there is no expense. Payment of accrued expenses 10,000. No, because the expense should be 4, not 10. Payment of bank loan installment 10,000, which include an interest of 4,000. So that seems to be the answer. Cash drawings, no. Turnover 30, net 45 was noted in sales condition on certain sales invoice. Which one of the following statements describe the meaning of the sales condition? The logic here is you have given 45 days credit period, and if you pay within 30 days, you entitle 10% discount. So based on that, your answer is third option. Your answer is third option. Okay. Accumulated depreciation of building is, what is the answer? Any guess? Accumulated depreciation is a contra asset account, so that the answer is asset account. Accumulated depreciation is a contra asset account. So based on these options, the answer is asset account. On 31st June 2022, Janit sold goods on credit basis to Nimal, 50,000, and received 45,000 after credit period allowed from Nimal. Later, Janit decided to write off the remaining amount of rupees 5,000 on this date, that is 31st December. Select the answer, shows the source document used to record the above transaction. So first one is credit sales. Second one is cash received from debtor. Third one is bad debts. Credit sales, cash receipts, bad debts. Credit sales invoice, cash receipt. Bad debts is an adjustment, will be recorded in general journal. The supporting document is journal voucher. Clear? Petty cash interest of Sumati Parlour business is 5,000. Petty cash balance in hand as at 31st December 2022 was rupees 500. It was decided to increase the petty cash interest by 1,000 from the month of January. The amount of reimbursement of petty cash interest as at 1st Jan 2023. So the allocation is 5,000 and the money you have in 500. 5,000 is allocation, money you have is 500. That means you have spent 4,500. So if no information is given, like petty cash interest increase, the amount you should get from the main cashier is 4,500. And the management decide to increase the petty cash interest by 1,000. So amount expense is 4,500, increase in interest 1,000. So he should get 5,500. Number 24. The check rupees 10,000 received from Kamal, a debtor, has been dishonored. When you receive a check from a debtor, bank debit, debtor credit. Just take the reversal of it. When you receive a check from a debtor, bank will increase, debtor will decrease. Now you reverse that one. So bank decrease, debtor increase. Bank decrease, debtor increase. Information pertaining to sales journal. What do you mean by sales journal? Journal which record all credit sales. For the month of April 2022 of Samara business as follows. So you have date column, invoice number column, customer column, and the value column. So the A represent the last day of month, that is 30th April, and you should record credited to sales. Answer is fourth option. The invoice relating to acquisition. Someone asking a question. Yeah. So in that case, you need to develop, if it is a purchase journal, you need to take this way. So you take the last day of the month and then you take debited to purchase account. Debited to purchase account. Right, next one, 26. The invoice relating to the acquisition of credit on an office equipment, rupees 200,000 from Damra Furnitures, entered in purchase journal 20,000. The correction of entry would be, so now let's have a look. Office equipment you bought on Damro for 200,000 has been recorded in purchase journal. So if you purchase any non-current assets on credit basis, that should be recorded in general journal. But apparently you record in the purchase journal. So then what will happen? How you correct that one? So office equipment debit 200,000. That's how you rectify that error. So what are the options? Office equipment account, debit 200,000, this one, and this one. And then you need to reverse the creditors one. So debit office equipment 200,000 and then credit Damro Furnitures already recorded 20,000 in the form of a creditor. So you need to take the balance 180. So credit Damro Furniture 180. And then what will be the other impact? The purchaser's amount is wrong. So that need to be recorded. You need to reverse that from the purchase account. So the answer is third option. Answer is third option. Clear? Right. Next one. A repayment of 15,000 has been posted to the bank loan, whereas 3,000 of this amount has paid interest on the loan. To correct this error, the journal entry would require a repayment of 15,000 has been posted to bank loan account, whereas 3,000 of this loan amount was paid as an interest. What is a double entry? So what the original entry they have done was they credit the bank account 15,000 and debit the loan account 15,000. But that is wrong. It should be 3,000 you need to take from the loan account and pass it to the expense account. Clear? So loan account interest on bank loan debit, bank loan credit 3,000. So you remove the bank loan amount and take the 126 question. Okay, 26 question. Okay. Give me a minute. Yeah, 26 one. Okay. Now you purchase office equipment 200,000, but apparently you record that in a stock purchases as 20,000. So what is the original entry for that? If you purchase stocks on credit basis, what is the double entry? Purchases account debit, creditor account credit. Make a clear the bala. Purchase journal record 20,000 as credit purchases. So purchase account debit, Damro furniture credit 20,000. Is it clear? If you record 20,000 as a credit purchases, what's the double entry? How the double entry goes? Debit purchases account, credit creditors account. That is Damro furniture, 20,000. But ideally, you purchase what? You purchase office equipment. So ඒක තියෙන්නේ purchases වල 20 තියෙන. Purchases වල 20 තියෙන එක හරිද වැරදිද? වැරදි. So you need to reverse the purchases 20. So purchases credit. Purchase එක credit. හරිද? And then you pass the correct entry to the office equipment account. So office equipment account debit 200,000 because it has not been recorded at all. So office equipment debit 200,000 and you reverse the credit purchases in the purchase account. Purchase එක credit. දැනට Damro වල කීයක් record වෙලා තියෙනවා? දැනට Damro account එකට 20,000 already recorded. ඒක තව කීයක් record වෙන්න තියෙනවා? මේ 200 එක up කරන්න ඕනේ කීයකින්ද? මේ 200 එක 20 එක 200 වලට up කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒ 180 වලට ආයි Damro credit කරන්න ඕනේ. So the answer is debit office equipment 200, credit Damro furniture 180 and purchase එක reverse වෙනවා. So it become credit 20,000. Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes time. Can you try 28, 29, 30? Please try. Everyone, please try. And if they provide the monthly membership, you need to convert into annual membership by multiplying 12. So 100 members have been paid. They are asking the receipt and payment account. What do you mean by receipt and payment account? All cash you received and all cash you paid will be recorded in receipt and payment account, which is equivalent to the cash book. So how many members paid? 200. Sorry, 100 members paid, 200 each. So answer is 20,000. And if they ask what is the amount to be recognized in the income statement, altogether how many members? 120 into 200, 24,000. Clear? And how much is to be received? 24,000 minus 20, that is 4,000. Right? And what is the amount recognized in the financial position? Answer is 4,000 accrued members income. The balance as per bank account is 420,000. Balance as per bank statement is 440,000. The most appropriate reason for such difference. Okay. Balance as per bank statement is 420. Bank statement එකේ balance එක ඊට වඩා වැඩි. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයාගේ account එකට someone will put the money. Okay. Standing order payments, no. Unrealized deposits, no. Bank charges, no. The check paid to creditor worth of 20,000 was dishonored. Hold on a second. Standing order payment. Because of that reason, no. Unrealized deposits. Balances bank statement 420. Bank charges, no. Check paid to creditor worth dishonored. Okay, no. There's an error in the question. Just leave it. Doesn't matter. Okay, please try question number 31 to 33. I'll give you time. (31 to 33). So the answer for question number 30 is check paid to creditor worth 20,000 was got dishonored. So it's recorded in the bank statement as a credit entry. So the value got increased. So they have more balance than our balance. So we haven't recorded the dishonored part. So we have low balance in it. Right. So this question, I'm using the Excel in this way. So fabric 120,000 and monthly rent is not a prime entry. Books payment for tailors, yes, 42,000. Electricity bill, no. Telephone bill, no. Supervisor salaries, no. Machine repairs, no. Machine depreciation, no. Threads and buttons, because of the insignificant, because of the immateriality, you cannot take that as a prime entry book, prime cost, sorry, prime cost. Answer is 162,000. So that divide by 100 shirts. 1,620 is the answer. So total production overhead cost for the month. So just add the rest. 16,000, 10,000, 6,000, 2,000, 1,000, 2,000, and 1,000. Take the total of all. Answer is 38,000. Okay. So the production cost comprised of two elements, prime cost and the overhead cost, direct cost and indirect cost. So together is a total production cost. So what's the total production cost? Here you get 162. Here you get 38,000. So take the total. Answer is 200,000. So that divide by 100. So cost per one shirt is 2,000. So the gross profit margin is 10%, which is 200. Ekaddu nama 2,200. Is it clear? Okay. Now we come to the important part, the income statement. Right. So I'll teach you how to get the answer in a shortest possible time frame. Give me one, someone asking question. How to check the prime cost? Okay, I'll show. Just a minute. Prime cost එකට එන්නේ fabric වලට ගිය cost එකයි tailors ලට ගිය cost එක එකතු. Is it clear now? හරිද? Right. So they have a lot of information here. The first question is cost of sales. Just underline that. Second is the gross profit. Just underline. Third is the total administration expenses. Fourth is carrying value. Fifth is current liabilities. Net profit. Closing equity. For that, you don't need all the information, all the statements. Okay, how you calculate cost of sales? Okay, write it down, cost of sales. So cost of sales you calculate when these things inform. These are important. Purchases එනවා, carriage inwards එනවා, opening stocks එනවා. Sorry. Hold on a minute. So what are the things that we need to know? Purchases. Sorry. Okay, I'll do this way. Hold on a minute. So purchases will come, opening stocks will come, carriage inwards will come, and the closing inventory. This also come. Shall we take that into account? Purchases, just write it down. Opening stocks. This is the MCQ. Carriage inwards. So opening purchases 250. No need to put thousands. All use thousands. Thousands only aga bindu tuna නැතුව ලියන්න. හරිද? Purchases are 250. Opening stock 5. Sorry, my mistake. This should be the down one. Sorry. 250. Opening stocks 5. Carriage inwards 2. And minus closing stocks 10. So what is the answer? 247. Okay. So how we calculate the gross profit? Sales minus cost of sales. So write it down, sales. Sales is 300. Hold on. Sales is, hold on a minute. Sales 375. එකෙන් cost of sales අඩු කරන්න. Someone asking question. The paper. I'll just send me a message, then I'll send you the paper. So 128 is the gross profit. 128 is the gross profit. Next one, total administration expenses, admin expenses. So we'll look at what are the admin expenses. So admin expenses. Oh, really? Okay. Just send me a message. I'll send. Yeah, sure. Admin expenses. Admin expenses, you can take electricity, salaries, insurance. And if you have any depreciation, you need to take that as well. And if you have any accrued insurance, you need to take that as well. Okay, shall we think about it? Insurance 11 plus accrued තියෙනවා 6ක් 11 plus 6 එතකොට හරිද? So it becomes 17. Electricity 8. Salaries 25. And the depreciation. Depreciation key 10% on furniture. Furniture තියෙනවා 100 එකෙන් 10% කියලා කියන්නේ 10. Depreciation furniture 10. Shall we add all of them? 60. I'll say 60. Okay, I'm not preparing any accounts, any statements, I'm deriving the answers. Right, next one. Carrying value of non-current assets. I need the answer from you. Carrying value of non-current assets. Furniture එකේ cost එක තියෙනවා 100. හරිද? Accumulated depreciation opening balance එක තියෙනවා 10. So මේ අවුරුද්ද depreciation එක අර 10 වලට add වුණාම accumulated depreciation එක කීයද closing date එක වෙද්දි? 20. Opening cost එක 100. Accumulated depreciation එක 20. 20 කියලා කියන්නේ opening date එකේ accumulated depreciation එක 10. ඒකට add කරනවා මේ අවුරුද්ද depreciation එක. So the closing accumulated depreciation is 20. So 100 minus 20, 80 is the carrying value of the furniture. Plus land 500. So 500 plus 80, 580. Is it clear, everyone? Yes, very good. Value of current liabilities. Value of current liabilities. So current liability සාමාන්‍යයෙන් එන්නේ මොනවද? සාමාන්‍යයෙන් එනවා creditors ලා. Creditors. So creditors ලා කීයක් ඉන්නවද? 20 ඉන්නවා. Don't write 20,000, just say 20. And then bank overdraft 40. Bank overdraft 40. And the bank loan එක තියලා තියෙනවා 75. එකෙන් 10% තමයි interest එක. Interest එක ගෙවලා තියෙනවද බලන්න. Do you have any expense, interest expense paid? No. So the bank loan interest to be paid, accrued interest 7.5. Current liabilities වලට එන්නේ creditors ලා එනවා, bank overdraft එනවා, accrued interest එක එනවා. දැන් අපි යමු adjustments වලට. Accrued insurance එකකුත් තියෙනවා. Accrued insurance. Which is 6. So can you add all of them? 73.5. So answer is first one. Okay, Now I'll give you a shortcut method to calculate the next two answers. Okay, tell me what is your capital by looking at the trial balance. Capital එක කීයද? I need the answer from you. What is your capital? 400,000. Am I right? 400,000. Okay. So the closing equity එක හදන්නේ කොහොමද? Closing equity එක හැදෙන්නේ opening capital plus profit and minus drawings. So you don't have any drawings in here. So based on that, tell me what should be your closing equity? මේ හතරෙන් මොකක්ද දෙන්නේ? What is your closing equity? So how you derive the closing equity? You have a capital plus profit minus drawings. Then you come up with the closing equity. So the capital opening equity itself is 400. So what should be the closing equity? It's not 400. It's not 559,500. It's not 49,500. The answer is this. එහෙනම් කීයද profit එක? Profit is this. You don't need to calculate everything. Remember, some questions you don't need the statement, but most of the students wasting time. They waste a lot of time in doing so, but it need not be. Okay, so I will upload the balance questions in the form of a YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, so I'll try my best to upload the remaining part over the period of time. So the what you need to do for the rest of the period is you need to allocate time wisely for the next couple of days, because this time period is so crucial. So give more time for the area where you really weak at. It's subjects හොඳටම කරන්න පුළුවන් එකට වඩා අර කරන්න බැරි ඒවා ටික focus කරන්න. And some subjects are so crucial like math, science, Sinhala. So give more priority for those things. Okay, and practice the past paper questions and try to figure out, try to forecast the probable questions that might come up to your exams. Clear? So I hope you have some sort of awareness of the subject. Because of the time limitation, I cannot do all the paper. So from the area we discussed the case study and we discussed the MCQs. And throughout the case study, I give you the approach. And I'll give you I'll upload the video for the other couple of questions so that you have a thorough understanding. And if you need the paper, just send me a WhatsApp message. And I create a group for y'all. I'll happy to help throughout till your exams are over. Do you have any questions, Dula Putala? So some students came without knowing who am I. So I'm really appreciate those who came and joined and were there throughout the session. Any doubts? Any problems? So if you didn't collect the paper, just send me a WhatsApp message. I can send it. Okay. Right. The time is up. I'm happy to help you all. Just send me a text message if you need any kind of a clarification, and then I'll clarify. So I'm thanking all the teachers who passed the message about this seminar, the online seminar, this Zoom link, sending a lot of students. So I'm really happy. So all the best for your exams, and මොන ප්‍රශ්න ආවත් exam එක කල් දාගන්න යන්න එපා. හරිද? exam එක තමයි ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ turning point එක, the first turning point එක, and next is the A level. So this is the most important turning point in your life. So make use of this time. This is very, very important, this time period. You don't have much time now. So spend wisely and do revise your subjects and the topics, and the most probable topics. Wait, take a වැඩිපුර දෙන්න ඕනේ වට වැඩිපුර දෙන්න. And plan your self accordingly and try to get the 9S, or at least a good score, good desired score to make your parents and make your teachers proud. So I believe I help in the last moment to whatever possible manner, and hope you get 9 A's and A for commerce subjects. Okay, all the best and may God bless you all.